Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Lights Out League Racing Season 28. And we are on race 8. And we've headed to Southeast Asia, to the island country of Singapore. And it's bound to throw up a spectacle. We've got an almost full grid. I think we are expecting one more. I'll see if he's coming. 1 second. But anyway, good evening, Keezer. You will be missed tonight, and hopefully you've got one more jumping into your car right now. Yeah, we're in Singapore, where you won't see me in the theatre because my acting is great, but my singing is poor. Call me daddy. Those jokes will keep coming. We've got one or two already heading out of the grid, and Jax Daniels is the one leading the way. Let me just double check if I can let's see if I can invite him. He might be coming in now. There we go. So we will have a full grid with one or two reserves filling in for the likes of Keezer, which Chief of Fire is jumping in. We've got Chessbowl and Wesker. Enjoy your holiday, mate. I'm sure you deserve it. Don't worry. Sit back, relax and watch the race. Hopefully you'll get some decent points for your team. Yeah, we've got Wesker and Chessbowl filling in for the Haas drivers of Lennon and Zombie. We've got Benchwarmer and Michael Vien filling in for Luckiest and Briddy. And we do have a full grid. How exciting! And there's nothing more exciting than a street circuit at night, where the lights are brimming and the action is thrilling for the first hot lap of qualifying as Jax heads down to turn 1. Down past the Benjamin Shears Bridge, around the S-curves of turns 2 and 3, going down to 90 kilometres an hour. Open up the throttle along Republic Boulevard as we go to a very quick turn 5. We want to carry as much speed through as possible as you open up that DRS. You rode the curb a little bit too much in my eyes. Down Raffles Boulevard, which is the fastest part of the circuit, where we're bound to see one or two overtakes. To the heavy braking zone of turn 7, we want to hit the apex. Don't go too wide, you're going to invalidate. And around turn 8 of Stamford, tight right-hander and a fast Padang, where you'll carry speed through again along St Andrews Road. Now the flick blind left-hander of Singapore Sling. We don't want to see the wings lost on the inside. Very tight, intricate part of the circuit now, where we take the left kink of turn 12 across Anderson Bridge. Very tight round to the hairpin of turn 13. Open up that throttle. It's imperative you get a good exit. Open up the DRS as we go across the Esplanade Bridge, across the Singapore River. Right hand of turn 14, where again you want to don't go too wide or you'll get invalidate. Where we've got a new DRS zone across Raffles Avenue, where we're going to see one or two overtakes down to turn 16. Whereas tight right hand, a very tricky one actually. Exit of turn 17, we're going to brush the wall on the exit, and a quick flick of turn 19 past the Singapore Flyer, going 180 kilometres an hour across the line, and the first flying lap is a 1:28.8 for Jax Daniels, who's potentially going to be one of the favourites for pole today. And a good start of the session as Josh goes 1:39 onto P2, with Katami's going ahead with 29.8, so it'd be interesting to see what his strategy is. Next up is Caps Lock, who's been reasonably quick this season. Got himself a race win, of course, in Monaco. Goes up to P2, 29.4. So he's 6 tenths behind Jax, so shows a great time that Jax has currently set. We've got one or two new drivers on the grid as well. For the first outing, Topher. Good to have him with us, who's a new teammate alongside Josh, and it is his first outing, so it'll be interesting to see what he cooks up. And then filling in, as I mentioned earlier, for Keezer is Chief of Fire, who's just getting himself set in the grid. Wesker, P3, just missed out on a podium. He's very much in the mix. As Chessbowl slotted behind his teammate for this week, 29.6. Brutus Beer getting to 29.2, so showing a great time here for Jax. Benja P7. We've missed Magel P10 and P11 currently. Topher just getting himself set on a lap. You see this track's so busy. I'm sure we're going to, hopefully no one gets in the way of anyone else. Make sure they avoid each other. Dan Morris goes in P6. almost a second behind his teammates. So everyone just getting himself a lap in. Amadi going around and setting himself a lap. Of course, he's starting from the back. He's been cursed with incredible pace, so just getting his setup on his car. We might see him do a run on the Inters. Unless we've got a wet race, of course. Ooh, surprising. Part of Amadi's conditions, he has to do an extra pit stop, and he's not allowed to pit during safety car. Benedict in the Williams up to P3 with 29.3, and he's taken the potential crown off Terry's and Mr. Saturday of having a fantastic qualifying, and then his race pace tends to be involved in one or two slight incidents. Unfortunately, we've lost Michael Vienne for some reason. He's retired from qualifying. By Benja's notes, it seems like it will be raining in the race, which should be an absolute laugh. Bench Warmer goes P30 in the Alpine. As we see who's that's gone up there. So Matt Mann up to P10. Kind of lingers around that mark as we catch his Amadi is invalidated. So we'll see how Terry Reds is doing. Seems like his holiday broke his form. He slots in behind his teammate with on 38. Of course, got that win before he went away as Katz goes up to P9, 1:30.0. These times are just slotting in for now. We should see at least 2 runs by everybody. It'll be interesting to see what Michael can do from the back. Again, he's got quite a good pace about him. He's got himself on the podium this season. In Saudi Arabia, sorry. We are on Singapore. You can't be doing that. So I get some validity on this lap. So I think everyone's just coming on an in lap. So we'll keep an eye on Chief of Fire then. Coming on the current hot lap. It'll be interesting to see what he can do. A little bit shaky as he goes round turn 8, flying out of Padang. As he approaches the Singapore sling. Of course, used to be a high curb chicane, which they caused very dangerous conditions. So they lowered the curb out gradually over the weekend. And then in 2010, they actually changed it to that blind left-hander that we know now, which actually has increased the entry by 40 kilometres an hour. Increased the speed of the circuit. Kind of the same as they've done the changes between turns 15 and 16. Just made it now a DRS zone as well. It's just increased the track's circuit time. It makes for a lot more overtaking opportunities, which of course we love to see. So he comes around there and final couple of corners. His first out in a Lights Out League racing, and goes P13 for now with a 30.8. 600ths behind Terry Reds. It's getting very tight as these drivers start throwing in some times. Looking for Jax again. He's on his second flying lap. I think Dan's doing a couple of laps on the same set of softs. It gives the teammate a slight little slipstream. And Jax, I think, invalidated, messed up his lap. So he's pulled out. Let's keep an eye on Katamise, I think, is next. And let's keep an eye on Katamise. It'll be interesting to see what his wing strategy is. He normally drives with very low wings, but you can't really do that on this track. It is a maximum downforce with the amount of slow corners that we do have. So he's just flying along with the DRS to turn 16. Comes down to turn 17, where it's well away. He could have gone a lot wider, carried a bit more speed through there. But again, it depends if he's got the wings he needs. He goes up to P4 with a 29.3. Oh, 15 thousandths behind Benedict in P3. So good luck there from Katamise. Let's have a look at Benja. Yeah, he's got himself in the sprint podium in Miami. Just has himself a lot around the middle ground. Has that potential. So just needs to avoid one or two early race incidents. Fastest middle sector from Benja. As he'll find his DRS open, so is he on for a potential climb up the order here? And the final few corners. Goes really wide, his back end just tapping the wall. Crosses the line and gets P4. Slots in between Benedict and Katames, if that was even possible. 2,000s behind Benedict. It's tight at the top. As Jack's gone round and doing another lap, and no, he's diving straight in. Is that Brutus here? It is Brutus. He's slightly up on his time, but I don't think it's enough, no. So 29.1, but stays on the front row. He's just doing some laps around. Let's have a look who's next. It is Magel. Mr. Mike says P15, 31 flat. And Benedict gets himself on provisional pole with a 28.5, 3/10 ahead of Jax Daniels. Wow from Benedict. Mr. Saturday pumps out his chest and roars like an absolute slag. And it'll be an absolute dream if he managed to keep himself there. Wow. Terry Reds is just starting his lap now. Who have we got next? It's a Mercedes. Benja's just on a lap, so let's keep an eye on Mattman, who's on an out lap as well. Keep on Chesbowl, who's down a 10th. He's invalidated. He's not improved. Validated on. So Mr. Dan Morris, he's got 3 consecutive podiums, if I do believe. So not one to be shrugged at all. Brutus, that is. We've got an Aston Martin of caps lock now, so he's just coming in out to sector 3. Is just behind Brutus, so I don't think he's going to improve. He might have just. He's going in the pit, so we missed Wesker. We'll go up to P5. Apologise for that, Mr. Wesker. Great jump up into P5. The problem with it, well, it's not a problem, it's just I don't have a co-combinator to keep up, as Josh is invalidated. To keep an eye on Topher then, who's 9/10 up, so he's found a bit more confidence in this lap. Can he find a bit more on these final couple of corners? Increase his time into the 33.7s. And if I do believe he hasn't raced for a while, so he's just finding his rhythm. Be interesting to see what he can do. Let's keep on Wesker, who jumps into the pit. So everyone coming around to do their final few laps. So that's bench warm, just starting a lap here. It's quite congested. Round turn 14, if anyone's on a lap there. Let's jump back with Dan Morris and see what he can do then. He's 4/10 up. We're going up to the 29.3s. So around the P6, P7 mark. He's going into the pit, so he's messed up. He's not going to improve. Mr. Sygate is on an out lap, so he's just starting a lap with 3 minutes to go. So this will be his final lap. Who's ahead? Topher's invalidated. So let's keep an eye on bench warmer then. 32.4. Had a couple of DNFs on his previous couple of reserve races for us. Let's hope he can fulfill his potential. I remember it might have been last season at Spain where he's fighting for his pole and he's got past his second sector. Oh, goes a little deep. Managed to keep it within the track limits. He comes to the final few corners. Looking like a half decent time. It's a decent speed around the final couple of corners. Crosses the line and gets himself onto P3 29.1. So this track is evolving. Chessball and an outlap, so let's keep an eye on Katamise, who's next. Just pushing the limits. He's down 2.5 tenths. So if he's got enough fuel, he's best just retaining a bit of ERS and starting a new lap here. He's just slowing down now. So I think he'll be doing another lap if he's got the fuel in his car. The next Mr. Katsu's almost 3 tenths up, which will get him to the 29.7s. Can he get himself potentially up to P9 ahead of Chessball? He doesn't. He gets himself ahead of Dan Morris up to P10. That's the highest he'll be starting for now. Sygate's then to the pit, so that's Sygate done. Chessball is there. Benchwarm is done. Katamise is just doing, I think that's him done. Katamise is done, so the highest he'll be is P8. So keep an eye on Chessball then, who's just slightly down. And all it takes is one corner to take it better than your previous lap. And you can get it, gain an advantage. Currently running P9. Dutch driver filling in for us this week. He comes through the final sector. He's got behind him. It's not Terry's, it's Matman on a hot lap. So we'll keep an eye on Chessball as he crosses the line. I think he's dropped a bit of time. I don't think it's going to improve. And the highest he will start is P9 with a 29.6. As we've got a bit of team play here. By the, oh no, maybe. Both invalidated, so we might see a bit of slipstreaming. As Dan Morris is the lead car, giving Jax a bit of a slipstream. Who've we got next coming round? Katz is in the pits. Chief of Fire then, for his final flying lap of qualifying. He's always 2 tenths up, goes wide, pushing the limits, and has invalidated. Unlucky, my friend. Next up is Mr. Mike Magel, 2.5 tenths up. Can he get himself ahead? He does, up to P14 ahead of Chief Fire and Terry Reds. Benja's next. 2.5 tenths up as well, up to P3. Provisional P3 for Benja. He's clipped by Brutus, who gets himself back onto the front row. Is it Terry Reds gets himself P13. Josh gets ahead both of the Ferraris up to P12. Times are flying. People are dropping like a sack of spuds. Like a whore's knickers. Caps lock P3. Onto the second row. Wesker P7 cannot improve on his time. Chessball's coming round again. Can he improve on his time? He does not. P9 for him as well. Katamise is invalidated. He's going to start high as P8. Next it's the McLaren boys. With Dan Morris just ahead, he's half a second up. I'm sure he'll find a bit more time, but what will Jax do behind him? Oh, I don't know what Jax did, but Dan Morris went P5. What did Jax do? Jax was last across the line, and the game is mugging me off. Or is a pole going to Benedict? Benedict takes pole! Congratulations, Benedict, 28.5. First pole for Lights Ali Racing. Brutus joins him on the front row. Capslock and Jax Downs behind him. Dan Morris and Benja row 3. Bench and Wesker row 4. Katamise P9 and Chessball P10. Cats 11, Josh 12. Matman and Terry side by side with Magel and Chief of Fire behind them. Sygate and Topher P18 on his debut with Amadi and Michael starting from the rear. And as I do believe it's in the rain, big congratulations to Benedict. I bet he's absolutely chuffed. I think potentially we might have a slight impeding, which can get forwarded to the stewards, of course. I need to turn this bloody volume down on my laptop. Bloody hell. I don't want random videos playing. It's distracting. Yeah, everyone's congratulating Benedict, who's actually panicking. I'd be panicking if I was you too. You got it, mate. You got it, mate. You've got a good pace. You're showing it. Sweaty palms. I bet it was last time he was wet as his palms. He saw his nan coming out the shower. So now everybody will be sorting out their strategies. Hopefully no one's pressed ready. It is a 2-minute wait. If not, someone's getting a bitch slap. So drivers will be sorting out their fuel loads. I think potentially it might be a one-stopper, unless the rain is coming at a certain time. It was a wet race last week, of course, official wet race. This is a random, and it just throws the spanner in works. It starts off dry, and I think somebody has readied up, which is rather annoying, but hopefully everyone's sorted out their strategies. Those that are watching, let's see your predictions for the podium, as Benedict leads us round for the first time on a formation lap, and no better place to do it in Singapore. So strategy is Armidy's starting on the soft, so we're going to make use of the extra pit stop that he has to do and try and gain as many places as possible from the start. We've got a few doing the alternate strategy. I think is the best strategy if the rain is coming, with Caps Lock, Jacks, Wesker, Katamis and Terry's all starting on the hards. Everyone else going for the medium tyres. So it'll be interesting to see how those hard runners make use of the wear as the race goes on, but it's going to be a tricky start for them. And what a tricky place to do it at Singapore. It's a 4.9 kilometre anti-clockwise circuit with 19 corners, 12 to the left, 7 to the right, and we do have the 4 DRS zones with the 3 detection zones, with the second one being a double DRS zone before and after turn 14. There's a 100% chance of a safety car, and this track is known for bringing out a safety car in real life, and 33% chance of a VSC. So we're probably likely to see incidents. We hope there's going to be some fantastic racing, which I'm sure there will be, but it's going to be congested grid and start with the amount of cars we've got on. Full grid, you love to see it. And as I said, it's a one-stopper. It's a 29-second pit stop. You don't want to be doing more than you need to. And as I said, Amazon shows up and says the medium hard is the best strategy. We shall see about that. Benedict comes around the final couple of corners. No pressure, my friend. Get a good launch, and then you'll be leading your way through. Brutus, Caps Lock, Jacks, Daniels that are closely behind you are all seasoned drivers and won't make any silly moves as Benedict jumps into his grid box. It's a 178-metre run down from pole to turn 1 braking point. So there's not much room for the guys behind to catch up. Brutus does have the inside though, as well the final drivers just slot in. Everyone breathe. In and out. 1 or 2 just invalidate their pit boxes, miss their marks, and will be hindered. As it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's lights out and away we go, and it looks like Benedict got a great launch off. Jax has already got ahead as Brutus had a really bad start. What has happened to Brutus? All the way down to P9. And that's promoted cars behind and get a bit of breathing space to Benedict. Benchwarmers gained 2 places. Topher's dropped to the back, which is expected, as Brutus gets past his teammates, Katamis, with his potential wings. Jasper gets past as well. He's just having a bit of a slow start on those hard tyres, and that's potentially what has caused a really poor start from, although Brutus on the medium, so yeah, really poor start. As Amity already up to P16 ahead of Chief of Fire, as both Cats exchange spaces very tight with the Sauber and the Red Bull of Katamis as Josh goes through. Matman already past Magel, and these places are changing as the Williams and Magel just slots behind. Oh, and just sits the back of the Ferrari, just misses his braking point. Hopefully he hasn't got too much damaged wing, and ends up dropping to the back. And has lost an end plate. It's very tricky in the street circuit, as I mentioned, in a hot lap. It's very tight. Benedict does have that gap ahead already of Caps Lock, so great start from Benedict, and it's just a heads down from him now. And everyone's just got that little bit of gap ahead, maybe doing it early tyre preservation. As McLaren boys who are looking to close the gap on the Visa RBs in the constructors, looking good for now. And Benja and Wesker just looking quite comfortable in the train now. It goes all the way down to Josh Katamise. Oh, we've lost Amadi. He's making an early pit stop, so he does have to do an extra one. And damning limitation early at the early start. Maybe expecting an early safety car, so a bit of strategy here from Amadi. But it's a challenge that he's more than willing to accept. I'm sure he doesn't fancy sailing away into the distance, which Benedict is not doing him out, but he's just got himself settled now. Needs to avoid penalties. But everyone looks like they have settled. There is a gap here out of the DRS, which is now active on the second lap, which will put Katamise under threat. He's normally the head of a train, which at the moment is Matman only. And these two, of course, have a feud from Silverstone Reverse earlier in the season. Katamise is usually has so many people behind him. He's got an arsehole like an empty headlock. But at the moment, it's just Matman for company, who's looking to overtake on the inside. Oh, gets squeezed by Katamise. With Katamise left forward enough room, I think there'll be a potential question by Matman as Brutus lost traction, is down to P11, coming out of 14 as Benedict has extended his gap. Dan Morris has got past Jax Daniels and up to P3, so a potential bit of team play here for the McLarens to try and close the gap here on Caps Lock. Benchwarmer is sticking with him in the Alpine, which I think luckiest and Benedict. Not Benedict. He's on my brain, I can't get him out. Luckiest and Briddy will be cheering him on. So everyone just settled a bit now. Gaps have formed and strategies will start taking effect. As Magel has pitted as well onto the hards and got a new wing as well, so to finish the race. Benchwarmer right on the gearbox here with Jax Daniels, of course, on those hard tyres, the same as Caps Lock, so explains why they've got cars all over their gearbox. Benedict will try and make use of these medium tyres as much as possible. He's made an error somewhere and lost a couple of tenths. Just needs to put his head down on these slow traction corners is where he'll gain an advantage. But this game is known for harsh tyre wear. Will we see one or two try the two-stopper? Benja did say in the chat that we are expecting rain. Let's see if that comes or not. Got a bit of gap now behind the Mercedes of Benja. He's got both Haas boys and Cats keeping him honest. And will we see one or two moves as Benchwarmer right on the gearbox here of Jax Daniels is not close enough, as Jax does have DRS as well as Wesker on the inside of turn one. Brilliant overtake from Haas as the other Haas has just had to slot in behind the Alpine. And we've got, as we come up to another DRS zone, Caps Lock has broke free from the McLaren boys, and Caps Lock is closing in now as Brutus gets past Josh on the inside of turn 5. Amadi just smashing that fastest lap on those fresh tyres in open air. Jackson's been held up by his teammate. Caps Lock now within DRS and will probably not force it on Benedict. Oh, chest pulse. Oh, just on the outside of Benja, who's already been dropped by Wesker on those hards, who will now be always Chespo just missing his braking point on Benja, and didn't get the same fate as Magel and keeps his car going. And Matman still back behind Katamise now as Chespo does get past Benjo. Seems like he's struggling. Cats goes deep. Might have got a little warning there, but he's hampered his exit on 14. This is a second DRS for Chespo, so we'll get to pull away as Terry's gets past Matman. Maybe Matman's had a slight error, or he's letting Terry's go to have a go on Katamise, who's holding them up and driving with his elbows out. Both on different strategies, of course, the Ferrari boys. As Michael is over the back, we got a yellow flag. It's just, I think someone's just lost it coming out of turn 17. No damage done. It might have been Topher. Terry's closing in as the McLaren boys switch places again. Trying to work together to keep Benchwarmer away and try and close in on the front two. As Caps Lock has made it a front two now. Of course, both drivers are on different strategies. Chespo is looking to close the gap on Wesker, which he is just gradually doing so. He's just got to try and avoid his rear view and concentrate on the head. But as he's dropped Benjo is struggling. And as I said, as Brutus has joined the party and just steadied himself, looks like he's a bit hesitant on the braking. And he's not as confident as he has been previously. His Katz on the inside of turn 16. Brilliant move from Katz. With the aid of DRS. And we'll be under threat now, coming through the next DRS zone with Benja behind him, going down to turn 1. As Brutus has got a better exit coming through the double corner, gets himself ahead of Benja already, and slots in behind Kat. So great move from the RB and the parent car, Red Bull of Brutus. And up to P8 and P9 for now. As we see, Caps Lock now make the move on Benedict. And what Benedict want to do is stay in the DRS here of Caps Lock. Caps Lock has been threatening it, as we see Katamise and Terry's side by side. As Brutus gets ahead of Katz, Terry's on the inside of turn. As Katamise tries to do the switch back. Oh, and Katamise, what are you doing? He's about too aggressive. As Terry's lost out to Matman. And then Michael Vienne, who's kept his head down. Up to P15 now. We've got a yellow flag. Where are we seeing that? It's Chespo. Across the Anderson Bridge. Very tight. And it looks like he's lost an end plate. Down to P11. He was doing so well in P7. And he might be able to hold on as we got a yellow flag. It's Cygate. Oh, he's hit the wall. And he's retired on track, and that's a safety car. Oh, Cygate. I hope he hasn't done that on purpose. And we have a safety car. As Jax Daniels dives in. I think the front two already passed. As Dan Morris would have got held up in the pit stop. It looks like everybody's making use of it. The only one that can't make use of it is Amadi, who pit just before. He's now up to P3, stayed on the hard tyres. Terry's has gone through as well. And Cygate has retired. It looks like he got stuck on the Anderson Bridge. And this would not have helped Caps Lock and Benedict. If anyone, Benedict will probably be the biggest loser. Unless we do have the rain coming, which they could just stay out. It has mixed up the order a little bit. And it'll be interesting to see what Caps Lock and Benedict do. Have been stuck behind the safety car and have lost their advantage. from the pit stop. I'd probably say Capsock will definitely stay out, otherwise he's going to lose loads of positions and won't make it to the end. I'd probably say Benedict would stay out. I think everyone else will still have to pit. Doing 24 laps or so on a set of tyres is too much, so I'd probably say for them both to stay out. If they lose a couple of places at the start, then as Benedict's going in, he's going to lose loads of positions. I would have stayed out if I was him, but he's probably expecting rain to come, and that's unfortunate. We'll have a chat about it after Sygate. Hopefully you haven't caused that, because you potentially caused a podium here for Benedict by retiring. If the safety car came out before you retired, then fair enough. So Capsock stays P1 and will lead us on the safety car restart as we wait for the last few cars to join the safety car train, and the 100% safety car probability has come to fruition. This game can be rough sometimes, and I feel for Benedict. Hopefully the strategy that he's playing out comes back to him later on in the race. But this game can be rougher than a smackhead's carpet sometimes. So unfortunate. So Capsock, Catamies, Terry's, Jack's all in a decent position. Armadi's found himself up to P5 now. Dalmarshall's behind him, and safety car's already in. I'd expected to go around another lap as we wait for the last couple of cars to join. Wow, caught me off guard. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. So Capsock is slowing the grid down. He's got to wait for the safety car to go into the pits, and he can't overtake until the timing line, of course. As Michael and Chief of Fire just exchanged in position. Capsock has gone already, and Magel has got himself a penalty by colliding under the safety car. As Benchwarmer gets himself a track limits on the restart. Oh, Benchwarmer, you silly sausage. And Capsock has got himself away. No one looks like they've been caught off guard, which is good. Catamise has got a slower start though. There's almost a second already away from Capsock. And we'll have Terry Reds for company. And Capsock has already burst away. Benedict will just have to try and he knows what pace he's got and just work his way up the order. He's got another yellow flag. We don't. I think it's the safety car restart glitch where it just stays remaining. So Benedict now up to P12 and eyeing up Benja in the Mercedes next on the medium tyres. So we'll be looking to what's happened to Terry's? Lost a couple of positions. Rounds turn 11 and 12. As Wesky behind her just clips the inside of the bridge. With Brutus on the inside. It's very congested, round 13. Terry's down to P7 now, which is promoted Jack's up to P3. Oh, the Alpine's just pushing Armadi round the corner. Jack's side by side as we've got a yellow flag. This yellow flag's distracting me. I won't remind it as Wesky's getting past Terry's now. As Benedict has got past Benja. Catamise gets a track limits penalty. Probably for his wing choice. As Benchwarmer getting past Armadi. You don't hear that often as Armadi is pitting. Interesting choice for Armadi. Bien gets himself a track limits. It's all kicking off as Brutus is overtaking Terry's down to turn 1. DRS isn't active yet as Cap's on the inside of Terry, so Terry's struggling. It's all congested as he's side by side with Benedict. Benedict on the outside of turn 5. Left plenty of space, both drivers, brilliant respect by both, but Terry's is slightly ahead. Both will have DRS, and it says drag race down to, look at this, I'm gonna have to close my eyes. As Dan Morrison bench side by side, it's so congested as we go around the tight turns 8 and 9. As McLaren and Alpine, as we come around Padang, are still side by side. Great wheel to wheel racing, as Dan Morris might have to just stick behind. He does, as Red Bull of Katamise and Jax. Katamise defending hard here, and he's caused a massive train behind him. Brutus getting track limits as well, as Capsock is now almost 7 seconds ahead. And this is probably almost classed as dangerous driving here from Katamise. He's defending too hard here. He's got this massive train behind him, and he just needs to, yeah, right. Katamise is just going to have to. I'm seeing it here now. It's just dangerous. Drivers going all over the place and just colliding with each other because they're getting held up by Katamise. There's a Haas that goes deep, and so does Benedict, who's hoping he hasn't hit the wall. And it looks Katamise is now in the pits. Thankfully to everyone else who can just get on with racing now. He goes on to another set of hard tyres. Either he had no traction at all, or he was defending too hard there, and has cost Jax Daniels a couple of places. As bench warmer's now found himself up to P2. Benja getting past Terry Reds, down to turn 7. Brilliant overtake from the Mercedes driver. Oh, as Josh just misses his braking point on the back of Terry's. Thinks his exhaust pipe is like a yawning hippo, is that big. Hello, clown, whoever you are. As Terry's has lost another position to Josh, and Terry's just struggling on those old hards. Matman. Oh, his Chief of Fire. Come around the Singapore Sling. Did he clip the inside of the wall? Thankfully, he doesn't have wing damage, so I think just a slight collision, as we've got a slight collision with Josh as well. Chespo ahead of Terry, so people switching positions left, right and centre. Oh, what is the Williams of Benedict doing there? I think he might have missed his braking. He's damaged his wings, so he's missed his braking point. And there's a big lunge. He needs to bide his time. He's probably slightly frustrated on the outside of the Ferrari of Matman. I don't know if Matman went offline or let him pass or not, as Chief of Fire past Topher. Michael gets past Terry Reds and up to P10 for the Alpine, so just quietly going around and doing his business. As we got a yellow flag now. Who is that? Somebody setting that fastest lap again. As Dan Morris making moves up to P2. Down to turn 7. Gets himself ahead as Benedict. Ahead of Josh. Meagle and Matman exchanging places, and Matman on the inside of 7. Wheel to wheel with Meagle. He loses position to Chief of Fire and lets Matman through, so admits fault there, so very respectful from the Williams driver as Benedict goes through on Terry's and gets himself up to P11 now. These two find themselves on track more than often. As Jackson Brutus exchanging places to 14. Brutus now found himself up to P4. Struggled on the first stint, but has managed to compose himself, as we've got another yellow flag at 14. It's getting very tight, and who's struggling a bit? It looks like Topher. Still got his wing though, so maybe he's letting people past or not. There's Amadi now past Meagle as the Josh goes off-roading and into the pit. So it's Josh actually got the damage. You can see he's got damaged wing. So jumps into the pits. So getting himself a new wing. Oh, I can't keep up at the moment. As Brutus on the back of bench warmer takes a quick look. Not quite yet. So Cap's looking comfortable. 6.5 second advantage, and he had that advantage with Katani's behind him, but is yet to pit, and his tyres will be wearing soon, you'd like to think, as Amadi just overtaking Mapman coming out of 7. Don't think Mapman fought too hard there with Amadi on fresher medium tyres. Man currently running 15. Just trying to keep himself out of trouble. Brutus stuck in the dirty air of bench warmer. Both, of course, have track limit penalties, which will have a say in their podium chances as Michael gets himself another one. Wesker's joined the party for the podium party. And they have thrown himself into the mix as Ahmadif getting past Chief of Fire down to turn 16. Chief of Fire just having a settled race so far on his debut. Joined last minute, of course, so probably didn't have that much practice to start with. We're doing well for the Mercedes team. Points means prizes, and prizes means positions. Topher staying with Nagel. Again, reasonable debut here from Topher. How's Benedict getting past Michael and just working way up again at turn 7, defends the exit, and the Williams driver just putting his head down and trying to get himself up the order. Has a track limits himself as well, so I think his podium chances are probably limited unless the ones ahead get more and he bunches up. He's got 4.5 seconds to gain on Chessbowl, who's just closing in on Bender as well, who's not far away from the train ahead, which is a battle for P2 with 6 cars in the mix, and they're closing the gap on Capsock as well, who's potentially on the 1 stop. Well, everyone else is going to, I'd have to say, probably do a 2, especially those that are on the mediums. Those on the hards will try and get to the end. Is Amadi now getting past Terry? He's up to P12 with the aid of DRS. There's no defending of that really, and he'll be chasing Michael now, who's no slouch, who is following Benedict as they start lap 15. Well, everyone's just managing themselves at the moment. Is anyone close enough to make a move? Bench warmer gets himself another track limit, so his definitely podium chances are dwindling. Keeping Dan Morris honest, who's just he said before that he's got some reasonable pace on this track. Bench warmer goes slightly wide out the Singapore sling. Ooh, just clips the wall. He's gone offline. He's going to put him under threat from Brutus. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. It's the Topher, I believe. Just lost traction out of turn 7. Doesn't look like he's got damage though. He's got quite a bit of run-off area. There's Mapman just hanging around the back of Chief of Fire and his teammate just ahead. Jack Daniels at the moment is in the potential to jump positions with penalties ahead, so he needs to keep his laps clean, but he needs to watch behind him with Wesker and Katz both looking to pounce, pun intended. Katz has had a great season so far and is leading the way in the Constructors with Amadi, and also he's leading the way in the Performance Championship. 10-point advantage at the moment, but that can easily be cut. And there's some drivers that gain 8 places, that's 8 points. As Josh gets himself a warning as well, as Chessbowl making the moves on Benja up to P8 at the most popular overtaking place, turn 7. And that's a yellow flag again. Toph has lost it going around turn 2 and 3 around the S's. And again, so we've got a run-off area, so no damage caused, just struggling on some of the tight traction areas. Michael and Amadee have caught up to Benedict. Benedict obviously shown with his qualifying pace that he's got some speed in this car, and it'll be a tricky one for them both to make the move. As Wesker, oh, so close. It's getting really congested now, as Dan Morris is closing in on Caps Lock and has dropped Brutus. He's now the leader of the train for P3, as Chief of Fire and Terry's exchanging places. Chief of Fire losing traction, which has opened the door again for Terry's, and Matman sniffing behind. Coming round turn 17. Managed to keep hold of his car and keep it going for now. His bench warmers also dropped as Katz and Wesker exchanging places, so brilliant move from Katz. Managed to make a move in this train. Jax Daniels will try and make a move on Benchwarmer, who's just out of DRS from Brutus. Chief of Fire getting past Terry's again. And as Terry's tries to do a switchback as we get to turn 8. Brilliant defence from Terry's. Keeps her possession, but lets Chief of Fire... Oh no, there's still wheel to wheel, as Chief of Fire again fights back. And now we've got a battle here for the Ferraris as Matman goes through. Terry's doesn't fight it. Team orders. Matman had better traction going out of Padang. As we go back to the lead of the race now, and Dan Morris has caught up to Caps Lock, and I'm pretty sure we'll see Caps Lock pit very soon. Amadee getting past Michael. Michael will try and fight back to his Jax now makes moves as Benchwarmer is in the pits. Getting off those mediums which are probably wearing now. Ben just said there was going to be rain. It'd be extraordinary if the rain does come out now. Jax just needs to get his head down, try and close in on Brutus, or at least stay within 3 seconds. As Benchwarmers dropping down the order, will come out P15. Can Dan Morris make a move on Caps Lock, whose tyres must be screaming? He's done 17 laps on these hards and is doing the one-stopper. So it'll be interesting to see as Magel goes in again to get used off those used hards. Brutus is closing in, and if these two are battling, it'll bunch up the guys behind them. Brutus just over a second now. Katz and Wesker just pulled along with Jax, who is closing in on Brutus as well. I think this top 6 is going to get quite congested. Benedict has caught up to Benja, so he's got the aid of DRS, which should defend him from Amadee and Michael behind him. As Caps Lock has lost that. Oh no, he hasn't lost it yet. The side-by-side, wheel-to-wheel. And Dan Morris makes the overtake going up down to turn 16. That's a brilliant overtake for the McLaren and takes the lead of the race. And should be able to pull away as Benedict gets past Benja at the same place, turn 16. And puts a buffer between him and Amadee. And should be able to pull away. Benja should have DRS, but Benedict gets a better launch out the double final couple of corners. Michael gets his Italian hand gesture for Michael. Wah wah wee wah. As Amadee gets up to P9. And Michael getting off those hard tyres. Terry Reds is in the pits as well, doing the one stop. Caps Lock just staying with, but Brutus has caught up. Amadee has made the moves on Benedict now. Down to turn 7, and Benedict will try and stick with him. Caps Lock will lose 30 odd seconds almost. with his pit stop. As Katz gets himself a penalty. That will potentially throw his podium chances into the air. As Wesker's going to make the move now on Katz. On the inside of 14, he does. As Katz and Wesker runs deep and hits a wall. Oh my days. He wouldn't want to get that caught on camera. And he has, and he's damaged his wing. And he'd be absolutely fuming. He made a brilliant overtake. And then he has to pit now. And he's followed by... who's gone in as well? Katz has gone in as well to get off the hard tyres, which promote his teammate through up to P6. Oh, dearie me. Was that Katz? It wasn't. I thought Katz had got an Italian hand gesture, but he did not. As Brutus now getting through on the outside of turn 7 on caps lock tyres. They must be wearing thin now. A gap's open to Dan Morris as Michael goes through past Katz as Katz just comes out. The side by side as Katz comes out the pit lane. And Michael's tyres, tries to just go across Katz, but didn't realise his car was there. Katz will have DRS and should be able to retake the position. Going out to turn 7, Michael has the inside, both with fresh tyres, and Katz gets himself back up to P12. That man behind Chief of Fire, and both found themselves now in P9 and P10. Chief of Fire will probably have to pit again. Matman maybe not. It depends how he manages his tyres, and he's very good at managing his tyres. He's got bench warmer on fresh ones behind him, so it'll be a time before bench warmer, who's looking on the outside of 14. Matman defending the inside. Both have DRS. Brilliant driving from both, but Benchwarmer has better traction, and just ahead Chief gets himself a track limits by going deep as Benchwarmer with the aid of DRS gets past and gains 2 places. Jax has now got himself up to P3. It won't be long before Caps Lock pits. I'm sure he's going to pit on this next lap, surely, unless he's waiting for his safety car or some rain. As we see Benedict now going in the pit and getting off these mediums. It's looking a little hazy. So, are we getting rain? Chief of Fire goes in as well. His tyres must be harsh. As Benedict goes on some fresh hards. Tricky for Amadi to get to the end on those another 10 laps on these mediums. I wouldn't be surprised if we see everyone pit again here. Maybe the top 3 can stay out. Maybe Chess Bowl can stay out. Caps Lock is stiff, staying with the front. Jack Daniel just lingering around. He looked like he was closing in a bit, but just teetering around that 2-second mark. He needs to stay within that 3 seconds, and then it'll be McLaren 1-2 as it stands. There'll be absolute scenes. Caps Lock definitely has to pit, so Chess Bowl would get promoted up to P4. And then there's a big gap of almost 10 seconds behind to Benja, whose bench warmer should make easy meat on fresh tyres. With the aid of DRS, brilliant overtake from bench warmer. Has made the 2-stop account for him. I think he's done a 2-stopper. He has. Him and Amadi. Amadi, of course, had to do the extra one. He did one really early on, so Benchwarm has actually made the 2-stop strategy work in his favour to absolute perfection. And also will have an extra position with Caps Lock pitting. Jack's now just slightly closing the gap. Both on the same set of tyres and strategy, of course. Caps Lock is falling back into the clutches of Chess Bowl. Dan Morris again on the same strategy as we've got Catanese and Benedict side by side. Cat has got Benedict all over his gearbox. Benedict on the fresher tyres, should be able to make an overtake as Katamis defends the inside of turn 7. Benedict just needs to bide his time. He won't want to be stuck behind Katamis too long, who's an absolute weapon at defending. As this should be an easy move. Oh, from Benedict at the Singapore sling. Brave move from the Williams. Katamis saw him coming. As we've got Topher, who's lost it coming out of turn 3 again. Keep going, my friend, as Chief gets ahead of the other Sauber driver and makes a move up to P16. As Wesker. Ooh, brilliant overtake from Wesker at turn 16. Michael defended as hard as he could. As Chesbowl gets himself a track limits as well. Oh, it's with about 8 laps to go, 9 laps to go. You don't want to be picking one up late now. As we've got a yellow flag in Magel's retired. And that is it another safety car? I don't see it out. Is it a VSC? I think it's a VSC. As Magel's retired and crashed out. Oh no! Oh no! Drive-through penalty for Caps Lock. Oh no, Caps Lock. Oh, his race is over. Because he has to drive through and he has to pit stop. If he can pit stop under the VSC, then it's not too bad, but then he has to do drive-through as well. That's unfortunate for the Aston Martin driver. I thought he'd stayed out too long anyway on the hards. Was he waiting for rain? And has he just got a second one? Has he just got a second one? Oh, Caps Lock. Oh, Caps Lock. Oh, Caps Lock. As Amadi goes through. He'll have to serve 2 drive-thrus and do a pit stop. I wouldn't be surprised if he retired, to be honest. I wouldn't blame him. As Chesbowl's pitting as well. And going on to those mediums. So there's no rain. Topher's in the pits as well. Oh, Caps Lock, I feel for you, my friend. Oh, we've got another yellow flag. It looked like the Aston Martin coming out the pits. I don't know what's going on there. Just flashing. Maybe there's just a slight collection. As Jax is caught up to the back of Brutus anyway. It'll be interesting to see if these 4 can run to the end. Or if anyone's going to do a late pit stop. But Dan Morris has, if you include the penalty, a 6.7 second advantage over P2. And over 4 seconds as Katz and Maxman exchanging places. Katz up to P7 on those fresher medium tyres. And you should see him pull away quite easily and try and close in on Benja, who's on same sort of tyres as Matman. Wesker goes through as well, so Matman, you can see, struggling on the traction on the slower exits as Jax gets himself up to P2 as Brutus now pits and is getting off the hard tyres. So we do have a 1-2 here now for the McLaren team. An interesting strategy call here from... Oh, is it raining? I didn't see any rain. It is raining. So early pit stop from Brutus is the first one to go on the inters. I couldn't see any rain, but the track looks wet and you can see some raindrops coming down. Has anyone else decided to pit? Michael looks like he's pitting maybe. He's not, he's struggling. They're cheering on Cat's overtake. But I think he's in pain as Matman pits. Capstock is probably doing another drive-through. If it is, I think he's going to be absolutely livid. It's another drive-through. He's going to have to do another lap round on these tyres as the rain's dripping down. So Katamis, Terry's both gone onto the inters as well. Matman has gone on to Whoa, who did we see go round then? We've seen... Is that Michael? Michael struggled and has hit the wall. And it must be getting treacherous conditions now. There should be a big enough gap for the McLaren boys to pit. This could be a stroke of genius here from Brutus that could potentially give him the race win. And he is closing in on Benja. Is that Michael again? Michael's just struggling with traction on these slow corners. As caps lock goes through on him on those hards, and he's going to have to pit to get into, unless we're going to see one or two try and go to the end of the race. And we're seeing everybody pit now. Amad's in. The McLaren boys have carried on, so they're trusting on their tyres to go to the end of the race. This could be an interesting call. Amadi and Benchwarmer both in, going on inters. Caps has got in as well. Everyone else behind. Are they going to try and do a Norris at Russia? It's looking a little bit slippery now, and this could be the wrong call from the McLaren boys as Brutus has gone through. Amadi has come out. Chespo stayed on the soft tyres. You can see Michael was struggling. Chief of Fire has stayed out as well. And Michael has retired. And it's a full-on safety car. It's a full-on safety car. Michael's retired on track, which I don't think one or two be happy with, unless you're the McLaren boys, who will pit and go on the inters. They've got plenty of time to do so. And this will help Caps Lock as well get on some inters. Finally. Italian hand gesture for Tofa for crossing the white line. Don't do that, my friend. So 3 drivers out now. As we shall see. Dan and Jax both pit now, as it's getting quite treacherous. Jack's just giving himself plenty of room for the pit stop, which he's allowed to do. He's not holding anyone off. Oh! It looked like he smashed the wall. Imagine if he did that, that would have been hilarious. Dan goes out and takes the lead of the race from the safety car restart, where it'll be a 3 or 4 lap sprint. Bound to see Chespo and Chief of Fire both pit. Chief Chespo does go in now. So Benchwarmer will go through. Chief of Fire goes in, the last 2 to go onto the inters. The rain has come down right at the end. And it may be, if that early safety car didn't come out, we might not even got rain. So very, or it might even come like the last lap or something. So the safety car being a massive advantage for the McLaren boys. Chespo comes out in P9 ahead of Benedict. Chief of Fire coming out ahead of Katamis. Oh, but then he's going to get dropped down for crossing the white line. Oh, unlucky, my friend. Unlucky, my friend. Oh. God, it's gone. Oh, God, I've been really hot tonight. I think every week I'm saying I'm absolutely sweating because of the weather, but I've just had this really, like, chill go over me. And my nipples are gone like bricklayers' thumbs. Whew. That was... Someone's just walked over my grave. So safety car will be doing another lap round. So it potentially will be a 3 lap sprint, I reckon. I've got the hiccups as well. At the moment, your podium sitters are Dan, Jackson, Armady. Wesker will be closing that gap and will get pushed up the order. And we'll be hoping that Armady gets himself a penalty as well, because he'll be in for a great chance for a podium. Armady, of course, our championship holder and the current leader, who has more than one penalty. Let's have a look then. I like the surprise at the end, but because you're asking. So Bruce has got 3 seconds, bench 6, Cats 3, Chess Bowl, Benedict 3, 13 for Chief of Fire. Katamise has got 3, 12 for Josh, and then 10 for Topher. So the order will get mixed up around Terry Reds. Looking like he'll gain quite a bit of advantage, same as Matman, once they get congested up to the safety car. With all the guys with their penalties ahead, so potential decent top 10 points for the Ferrari boys. Kept it clean. Caps lock as well. Damage limitation for him. Oh, what? Oh, Dan. Oh, were you napping, Dan? Oh, you've got no wind damage there, my friend. Oh, Dan. Fucking desperate, Dan. Get your cow pie out. You're desperate to win this race. As I said, he's got some podiums, but I don't think he's got a race win this season. He got one, I think it was season 26. I can confirm that we've got all the details. I think it was the last race of season 26. Let me have a look. Yeah, it wasn't that one. Yeah, it was the last race of season 25. Last race of season 25. So if you're looking for his first one of the season, as it's going round again, so it's going to be a 2-lap sprint. Ooh, it's going to get spicy. Not 1 spice, but 5 spice. Amity, as I said, yeah, he's a championship leader. We'll get some more points today, but he hasn't won for quite a while. He's been on the podiums. He's got 7 podiums out of the races we had so far, including the sprint. And of course, we had a double week, but hasn't seen a race win since the Miami Sprint Week. I'll struggle to do so today. Jax, he'll be looking to try and get past Dan. So both the McLaren boys will be looking for their race, the first win of the season. Jax will be the first win. Bruce, of course, won last week in Spa with his first race win of the season. Oh, another penalty there for Chief. Get quite congested under the safety car. It's up to the car behind, though, to make sure they maintain that distance. As everyone has caught up now. I think Topher has been lapped. He's not in the middle, he is behind everyone, so has dropped to the back. And there won't be in anybody's way, thankfully. But will get his first points of the season if he finishes the race. Safety car brings us across Esplanade Bridge. We saw the waves of the Singapore River as the safety car is in this lap. How long will Dan Morris keep this pack held up? I remember last time I was at the front, probably one of the only times really I've been at the front of a safety car restart. I held it really slow and I went really early and caught everybody off guard. So I had really old tyres though, so they caught me up, and I'm not that quick, but I caught everybody off guard and they did not expect it. When will Dan go? He has to wait for the safety car to go into the pits before he can pass it. He's got very quick drivers behind him with his teammate Brutus Amadi waiting for intent, and he's gone. He's gone already. His Chief of Fire has actually lost a couple of positions. but Jack Daniels was stuck with him and could be an early overtake from the McLaren driver. Jumps straight in the slipstream, but doesn't make a move. As Chief of Fire goes into the pits. Oh, what's he doing? What's he doing? Oh, what's he doing? Now, you don't see that every day. Oh, you would have thought I'd seen everything in this race, but apparently not. As we got Chief of Fire retires in the pits. And thank you for joining us as Bennett gets himself another penalty. Now, this is going to be a fight for the podium. And it's who's got what position on the podium. It's Amadi. Oh, little loss of traction from Brutus. As he's fighting on the inside of turn 8, but Amadi goes ahead. Brutus trying to defend and just found it tricky under conditions. And the McLaren boys will be hoping that Brutus puts a lot of pressure on Amadi. There's this and the next lap after where there'll be no DRS, so the McLarens have just got 1.5 laps to go to get that 1-2. As Chesbol and Benja exchanging places. Benja looks like he's losing a couple. Benedict trying to go on the inside, but it's a very tight corner to try and make a move. So Chesbol up to P8 now. Benja, of course, will gain a couple of positions with penalties. So we'll just try and stay with the cars ahead, but these are tricky conditions. We've got 12 watching the final couple of laps under the wet conditions. Brutus has been dropped by Amadi in the front 3, and it is a final lap sprint for the final 3 positions, the first 3 positions. As Benedict gets him past Benja. Terry's trying to get past Katamise, but Katamise's on the inside of the final couple of corners, gets himself back ahead. And gets himself back up to P11. Oh, on the inside, Josh takes a look, but pulls out of it. Great decision from Josh as Amadi gets himself a track limits penalty. And Wesker just needs to stay within 3 seconds, which at the moment he is just. And that will compromise a front 2 position from Amadi. And we're going to try and get past these 2. Katami's getting past Benja now as Benja's struggling in these wet conditions, as we see Josh struggle too. Amadi just trying to take a look, but even if he gets past, he's not going to make 3 seconds on these pairs, so he's best just slotting behind. He'll be trying to pull a bigger advantage from the cars ahead at the moment. Wesker's out those 3 seconds, so I think it'll go to Brutus. Wesker just needs to put his foot down, and he could find himself on the top 3 steps. We're coming around turn 14 as the Jack Daniels goes slightly deep. Amadi's in his slipstream. We'll try and make the overtake at 16 and make the move, but he doesn't. He doesn't. As we come around the final couple of corners, no one wants to lose traction now. As Dan Morris is ahead. Goes round the final couple of corners and takes the race win at Singapore. Makes no mistake. Congratulations to him as Jack Daniels, McLaren 1-2. Amadi comes across the line. P3 takes the podium. Wesker up to P4, just 3/10 behind of the podium position. Brutus P5, Kat's up to P6. Chesbol P7, Chorman down to P8. Katami's P9, Benja 10. Terry's takes P11 with 12 for caps lock. Benedict, Matman, Josh, and then Topher, who will take the final position. Woo-hoo! And I bet there's a lot of sweaty pits after that. And the McLaren take 1-2. And what could have been for some drivers. 1 or 2 hate this track. And look at that dance from Dan. He'll be absolutely chuffed, taking his first race win of the season. Jack's getting another P2, following his one in Monaco, and Amadi getting another podium. So close to being stolen from Wesker. It's Dan Morris, as I said, race winner, fastest lap by Amadi. And driver of the day was given to Amadi. Of course, it's driver's vote, and most overtakes Amadi, but he did start from the rear, and I'm sure he'll be happy. Again, podium gained by circumstances. So Dan Morris takes the top step. Jax Daniels, McLaren 1-2. Armour D, fastest lap with 1:31.9, and P3. Hask of Wesker filling in. Froll Lennon gets P4. Brutus P5. Katz P6. Gains 5 positions for his Performance League. Chessbowl P7. He'll be gets more points for the Haas team. Benchwarmer P8. P9 for Katamis and Benja, round off the top 10. Terry's P11, gained a few places. Capslock P12, unfortunate with those drive-throughs. Benedict P13 from pole. Benedict, my man. Matman 14, Josh 15th, Topher 16th, gained a couple. Chief of Fire 17th, who retired alongside Michael, Magel and Sygate. Whew, that was a race and a half. I'm sweating as well, Dan Morris, but congratulations. Great race, my friends. I'm sure the rest of the Discord are chuffed for you. It's been a long time coming, and you managed to get 2/3 through the way through the season. yeah. Lennon says Dan can start moaning now. He's got that race win with D in the race. Next week we're on to race 9, and we are on to a 100% race in Monza, so there'll be more sweats going on with the one-shot quali and a 100% race, as I said. So it's all down to stamina, determination, skill and perseverance, whoever takes that top spot next week. But a big congratulations to our podium sitters of Dan, Jax and D. My name's Alex. This is Lights Out League Racing. Peace out.